BJP has changed the chief minister yet in another state. The Gujarat chief minister is replaced, Vijay Rupani goes, and Bhupendra Patel comes. Well, this is not, this change of guard is not just confined to Gujarat. We have witnessed similar moves in Karnataka and Uttarakhand. Yediyurappa has made way to Basavaraja Bommai. In fact, in Uttarakhand, there was a change of CMs at least twice. So, the Trivendra Singh Rawat was replaced by Tiras Singh Rawat, and subsequently Tiras Singh Rawat was also shown the door in 4 months. Yet, not just in these 3 states, we have yet another example in Assam. Assam BJP led by Sarvanand Sonowal successfully won the elections. Still, the chief minister was replaced. Sarvanand Sonowal was made the cabinet minister, and Hemant Biswa Sarma, yet another architect of the BJP victory in the northeastern state, has become the chief minister of Assam. So, the BJP made a hectic attempt to replace Yogi Adityanath in Uttar Pradesh, but somehow Yogi Adityanath could prevail over the High Command because of his stature as an Hindutva icon other than Modi and Amit Shah, and also his own following in the form of Hindu Vahini in the state. So, this is a clear trend. Why is BJP replacing chief ministers? Well, the BJP narrative is quite interesting. It says that the chief ministers are functioning very well, the state governments led by BJP are performing. So, no party will replace the performing chief minister. No party will disturb a performing government. So, the fact that the BJP is changing chief ministers in states is a testimony to the failure of the governments led by the Bharatiya Janata Party in these states. Then what is the reason behind it? Well, there are very significant political takeaways in this process of changing chief ministers in the states. First one is, if you look at the BJP's electoral performance, there is a stark difference between its national electoral performance and that of its performance in the states. In 2014 and 2019, BJP had made a spectacular success, had registered a spectacular success. But if you look at in the state assembly election, BJP has been losing. In 2018, in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, BJP lost all the 3 states to Congress, which is obviously in a ramshackle condition at the national level. Similarly, the party failed to muster the numbers in Karnataka in the elections held in May 2018. BJP, by encouraging defections, could wrest the Karnataka from the Congress. In Goa too, the BJP asked to indulge in defection politics to get the power. In Haryana, the party has lost its strength and had to make adjustments with the Jananayak Janata Party to retain power. In Gujarat, where it could register a serial success, has to lose a lot of seats. In fact, in 182 member Gujarat Assembly, in 2017 election, BJP could win only 99, whereas the Congress came 77, very close to wresting power from the Saffron Party. So, this in Delhi, the BJP has been winning the Lok Sabha election, but losing badly in the assembly election to the Arvind Kejriwal-led Aam Aadmi Party. In West Bengal too, the BJP could score 40.6% votes on 18 Lok Sabha seats in 2019 Lok Sabha elections, giving the Trinamool Congress a massive fight. So, but however, the BJP failed to stop the Trinamool Juggernaut, and it has ended up with 38% votes and 77 seats in the recent assembly elections, where the Trinamool Congress registered a spectacular success by winning as many as 213 seats. So, all this clearly indicates that the BJP's performance in states is relatively very bad compared to its performance in the center. So, the one reason for change of guards in chief ministers is to alter this. So, it wants to induct new faces, first time MLAs as chief ministers, to refurbish its image and of the leadership in the state level. So, this is the first takeaway. Second takeaway is, well, the COVID-19 was a disaster for the BJP governments, both at the state and center. So, obviously, there is a very serious discontent against the way the BJP governments, both at the central and the states, handle the COVID disaster. So, but actually the problem is with the central government. But cleverly Modi Shah duo are trying hard to shift the blame to the chief ministers. So, in the Gujarat is a classic case of COVID failure. So, by replacing the chief minister, the BJP is trying to absolve its failures in dealing with the COVID pandemic. We have seen how the health minister, both the cabinet and the junior ministers, recently replaced to give an image that the failure is not that of the prime minister but that of the ministers only. So, this is the second strategy behind the change of chief ministers, to shift the blame of government failure to someone else. Then the third aspect is the strengthening of the high command culture. So, the Congress symbolized the high command culture. Congress never allowed regional satraps to gain popularity. Congress high command was always wary of strong regional leaders. It seems the trend is creeping into the BJP also. After the emergence of Modi, Amit Shah duo at the helm of affairs in the national BJP, the party is unable to accept the strong regional satraps. The classic example is in Karnataka. Despite Yediyurappa's strong social moorings, the party decided to replace him with yet another Lingayat leader, but relatively low profile leader. Well, in Uttar Pradesh, the party high command asked to adjust to the diktats of Yogi Adityanath, precisely because Yogi Adityanath had all the acumen and mettle to even rock the All India BJP leadership also. So, therefore, Yogi Adityanath was an exception. Other than that, if you have seen the Gujarat and Uttarakhand and even in Karnataka, the BJP is disinclined to allow the regional satraps to gain roots in their respective states. So, that is the third takeaway from that. Well, the fourth aspect is the BJP's social engineering. In Gujarat, the Patidars or Patels were the strong support base of Gujarat BJP, especially as the party rose to power in 90s. Till 80s, 70s, in 70s and 80s, Patels largely backed the Congress, but they have shifted to the BJP in 90s. The BJP has been winning the elections on its own in consecutive elections since 1995. The first BJP chief minister was Keshubhai Patel, a Patidar, and subsequently the Modi emerged on the political plane in Gujarat, but Modi was never projected as an OBC leader. So, he was more an Hindutva icon rather than a caste leader. So, after Modi shifted to Delhi, again a Patel became the chief minister of Gujarat in the form of Anandiben Patel. But in 2016, the BJP made an experiment. So, instead of relying only on Patels, it wanted to build a coalition of non-influential caste. This the party has been doing in several other states also. But the Vijay Rupani, a Jain, was brought in as the chief minister. But the party is again going back to its formula of retaining the support from the strongest communities. In Karnataka, in Karnataka, Yediyurappa is replaced by yet another Lingayat leader called the Raj Bhavan. Similarly, in Gujarat, again the party reposed faith in the Patel community, especially after the Hardik Patel-led Patidar reservation movement. The BJP has lost a sizable support base among Patels, and this has become an advantage to the Congress. So, today Congress may not be in a position to pose a serious challenge to BJP, but the new entrant into Gujarat politics in the form of Aam Aadmi Party is challenging the invincibility of the Bharatiya Janata Party. So, BJP wants to go back to its social engineering formula of retaining the support of the strong, numerically strong communities. So, that is the reason why the Gujarat Jain chief minister is replaced by a Patel chief minister. Patel constitute around 15% of the Gujarat population, similar to that of Karnataka, where Lingayat constitute 17% of the population. So, and at least in 65 assembly segments, Patels can influence the electoral mandate. So therefore, the party is very keen on retaining the Patel support base, especially after the Hardik Patel became the working president of the state Congress. So this is the fourth takeaway as far as the change of guard in Gujarat is considered.